Okay, we are now recording.
Okay, I'm going to read the list of people that I know that are present. Sue, Doris Johnson, Doris Hungerford.
Yes.
I know, you're here. Diana, Stephanie, Paula, me, Jane, Kathy on Stephanie's cell phone speaker, Gary, and Joni. Absent at this point are Jackie Roberts, Don Abraham, and Dave Griswold. And if they jump on during the meeting, that's okay. But that's who we have. Okay, Paula? Paula?
Yes.
Got it?
I have it, thank you.
Oh, we actually, you can add Griswold. He's getting on right now.
Okay.
Dave Griswold is here as well.
Dave Griswold is here. The only person we're missing at this point, 2 people, are Jackie Roberts and Don Abraham. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is almost 10 after 1. We'll say 1:10, Paula. Okay. Do we have any members of the public on?
No.
Okay. All right, if you could take a look at the minutes of the March meeting quickly, please, and we will see if there are any additions or corrections that need to be made. Looks pretty good to me. Anybody have any additions or corrections to the March 15th minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the March meeting.
Gary, you can second. Diana made the motion. Gary seconded.
Okay, second.
That's okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Treasurer's report. We don't have to do anything with this except to look at it and to discuss it if it's necessary, and we do not have to make a motion to accept it. If you take a look at it, and if you have any questions, now's the time to ask.
I was just curious about, this is Diana, I was just kind of curious about the COVID grant of April 13th.
Oh, Steph.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it in my director's report, but that's the grant that we received to get certain items to help us socially distance and hold programs. So
Okay.
for instance, that was for the tent that covered that 20 by 30 tent that we got, that covered a couple of fire pits, that also covered some arts and crafts kits that we made. And also, even though we pre-approved the purchase of the microphone system, that we were able to get reimbursed for as well.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, looks good. And Steph will go over a few things when she gives her report as well. Okay, let's move on. We have no communications, and we'll move on to committee reports. Go ahead, Steph, with director's notes and special events.
Sure. First of all, I'm going to check it off because I've got a bunch of things to talk to you guys about, but I'll try to keep it as brief and informative as I can. I have gone ahead and canceled the July concert series that we usually have. It just didn't seem feasible with the amount of people that we get for those concerts. So I did reach out to all the bands and let them know and have booked them for next year. I'll accept one. I haven't booked one yet because I left them a message. I haven't heard anything yet. So, because obviously we cannot have like 300 people here,
Yes.
you know, and be able to social distance and all that good stuff.
On a conference or thing. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just gonna mute you for a minute, Dave, while you're on the phone. Okay. All right. Next, we are going to be starting outdoor programs in May. So we are not opening. I like that, Jade. We are not opening. We are not opening the building at all. All the programs are going to be smaller and they're going to be outside. We will start holding a few of our exercise classes that have decided to meet outside. And also our art workshop. We're going to be putting up the tent and we're going to be holding a couple of art workshops that we normally have here in the building. I have arranged for entertainment to come, and the thing with the entertainment, it's going to be for our members only, and it's going to be a limited amount. I think we figured we're going to be able to fit. Don just joined the meeting, just so you guys know. Don Abraham, I just let him in. We will be able to let 37 pods of people in, and what that means is, for instance, if Jane came with her husband, because they live in the same household and they came together, they would be one pod. Okay. When they sign up, which is going to be required, everything outside that we have is going to be require a sign up. So no matter if it's an exercise class, an entertainment, if you want to come see the nurse, if you want to come and to see the hairdresser, if you want to come see our new foot clinic nurse, they're all going to be, the services are going to be out on our porch, so they're not going to be inside. Everything is outside, but they will require you to pre-register. Nobody's going to just be able to come over and hang out. Unfortunately, we need to keep people safe. So in a minute, I'm going to read some of the rules that we've decided on to keep everybody safe, and it's based on Ledge Light Health District and some of the rules that are coming down from the CDC, from the state, for senior centers and all that kind of thing. So, I figured there was something else. So May, we will be starting that, but masks are going to be, actually, I should just go over them in order. So let me just pull my paper. So this is going to be the list of rules that everyone that comes for the first time is going to sign, so that they know that they understand the rules, and that they agree to follow them. Mask coverings, the nose and mouth must be always worn. You can remove your mask only if you are at your outside exercise or program spot. So once you go to exercise, you're going to have a little area that's going to be marked off just for you. You can take your mask off when you're in that spot. However, as soon as you go to leave that spot, you need to put your mask back on. That's how it's going to work. Same with when we have entertainment. Once you get to your spot, you can have your mask off if you want to. But once you take a step outside of that spot, you need to have that mask on, okay? Programs or events under the tent, we will require that you keep your mask on at all times. The distance is going to be smaller in that tent area, and we don't want people to have problems with that. And you guys heard, masks with ventilators are not acceptable. So if they have a mask with a ventilator, the ventilator ones are great for people when they breathe in, but when they breathe out, there's no filter for everyone else. So if they have that, they have to have another mask on as well. If they have a ventilator mask, it's one that you'll see, it has an actual plug or hole on it. It's not like the regular mask. The second rule is going to be social distancing. Everyone is required to maintain a 6-foot distance while on the senior center grounds, 12 feet during exercise classes. So those will be marked out, so they'll be easy to see. Visiting is not allowed. You must have a reservation or an appointment for a service, exercise class, or to participate in a program, and you will be required to leave the premises after your class, program, or services. Members will not be allowed to drop in and visit for extended period of time. We don't want to get into a habit of and that's, you know, we don't want to get into a habit of having people congregate and stay for long periods of time where they are more susceptible to having it. So reservations are required for all programs, classes, and services. Due to the limited class size, you have to, we also need to do that because in case there's any contact tracing, we need to know who was here.
Right.
Bathrooms, the senior center building will not be open to the public. Anyone that needs to use the bathrooms, there is a porta potty, which we are going to have cleaned regularly. It's actually already located over on the town wood side. However, it's not far from where you go through the gate. It's only a tiny bit up from there. It's not all the way down at the park. It's more like where the gravel and the dirt change, and there's a lattice around it, so you might not see it unless you're looking for it, but we'll make sure to point that out to everybody. Anyone experiencing COVID symptoms should not visit the center grounds. And the director or her designated representative reserve the right to ask anyone who is not adhering to these protocols to leave the premises. And then at the end, I have these protocols are subject to change based on changing recommendations. And then we're going to have everybody sign and date that they've received the guidelines, so people know what's expected of them.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, I had one, Steph.
Sure.
A member signs up for a service and needs to bring a caregiver with him or her. How is that going to be processed?
Well, that should not be a problem because you're talking about a service. So as far as the service goes, we would sign them up just so we know that they're there. If they came, you know, in entertainment, they would be in the same pod.
Right.
That wouldn't matter. We would still have to sign them up and get their information there, so that if there was ever an incident, we would know who was there.
Okay, so it's just for the service that they would, you know, once they register for a service, an appointment with the nurse, appointment with foot care clinic, whatever, they do need to let you know that a caregiver is coming with them.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Should that be a question that you need to ask when somebody registers?
Of course, yes.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have a question for Steph for these rules? I know it sounds a little draconian and hard to hear, but since we don't know what's going to happen really, and even though we all might get vaccinated, we could still be susceptible, or we could still carry a virus that we could spread to other people even if we're vaccinated. So this is something that Stephanie's researched very carefully with other centers and has been able to come up with these rules.
I have a question.
Who has a question?
Jane,
I do, and I think Diana does also,
Yeah.
but if you don't mind, I'll go
One at a
first.
time, please.
So I have a question about the porta potty. So is the porta potty strictly for the senior center, or will it be shared with the rest of the park?
it is already in place for the rest
Do
of
you
the
know?
park. It is in place for the rest of the park, so it will be shared with anyone that is in this area. However, we are going to have it cleaned quite regularly, and it is handicap accessible.
Okay. Do we want to consider having the town maybe provide a second porta potty strictly for the senior center?
That
I
may
don't know,
not,
is that
that
possible?
may not be a bad idea. I don't know how much it would be, but I can definitely look into that, Jane. That's a nice suggestion. And
Yeah,
I can look into
that's a
that.
good suggestion. Real good.
That too.
Okay, David,
That's all I had. So Diane, if you want to.
Diana, do you have a question?
I do, regarding the outdoor classes. If you sign up for, say, an exercise class, do you have to do it each time you go, or is it going to be like this class is for
Oh,
4 weeks and therefore you're covered?
Good
good,
question.
good question. Yes, we are having people sign up a week at a time, because if you sign up for 4 weeks and you're not here, it makes it harder to track who was actually here and not here.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so it will be on a weekly basis. Just that you have to call and sign up for it. And with the classes, with the exercise classes, there will be no more than 12 people to an exercise class. So there's a couple of options for that. If you come and there's more than 12 people that want to come, we can, sometimes we'll be able to offer a second class. Like for instance, I've already talked to the tap teacher, and when the tap teacher does tap dancing, we know she's got a lot. So they can either come to the first class or the second class, but they can't come to both. That way we can, everybody gets a chance to do it. If they can't, if we have a lot of people and they only are doing one class a week, we can sometimes look into streaming it, or we can look into like doing it every other week kind of thing. It's all going to be a huge learning curve for us. So, so any feedback and questions, that helps me out too. So thank you, Diana. Yes, I should have made that more clear. We're going to have, at least for now, everybody signing up every single week for things.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Who else had a question? Good. Nice job, Steph.
Okay, I still got more, but
I know, but on that particular thing, that took a lot of hard work to do.
yeah. Oh, thank you. So as I'm just checking it off, as I said in the treasurer report, I had it on here, we got our $2,500. So that was wonderful, because it's helped us get things that we didn't have, and it was able to reimburse us for the sound system that we did have, but that you guys had approved, that no longer had to really come out of our budget. So that was nice. So because we had to cancel the July concerts, we wanted the ability for people to come and enjoy entertainment, just our members, and we are limited. So for instance, we went out on the field, and I think we're going to be able to do 37 blocks or 37 pods. With that, if there's one of you or two of you, and it really depends on if you're in the same kind of household. If you're dependent on somebody else, or you're with somebody else all the time, but we're only letting a maximum of 2 people in a pod. So if you have like 6 friends, you're not going to be able to be in one pod. It's going to be 2 per pod. We're going to we're going to be putting, I think we figured out, it's going to be about 6 feet apart, and you wear your mask to your pod. And then once you're sitting in your pod, you can take your mask off. But as soon as you leave your pod, you have to put your mask back on. And we're going to be very strict on that. What was I going to say? Oh, so the entertainment that we have some day programs and some night programs coming up. So I've hired an entertainer, which we've had before, who's very good. His name is T-Bone. And he's going to be coming Wednesday, May 19th from 1 to 2. Now, the way we're doing entertainment is you have to get a ticket from us. So what you would do is, if you wanted to come to T-Bone, you would call me and say, Stephanie, I want to register to come to T-Bone. And I'm going to use you, Jane, as an example, because I know you're married. You're like, me and my husband want to come. So we're going to sign you up for one pod, but you're each going to get a ticket. You're only going to be allowed to come to the concert if you have a ticket, so that we know that we have enough space for everybody. Nobody's going to be able to just show up. And what you'll do is you'll pick up the ticket like the week before the concert. We'll have you come by and pick up your ticket. Okay. So we've got T-Bone coming May 19th at 1 o'clock. We've got entertainer Joe Mack. He does the 50s and 60s rock and roll. And that's going to be June 16th from 1 to 2. And then also we are going to have the String of Pearls. The String of Pearls reached out to me, and they wanted somewhere to practice. So we are having them on Wednesday nights in May, June, and July, and we have rain dates for them as well. That they're going to play out here, and again, you would need tickets, and again, it will be just for members.
Okay.
We want to control the size of it, and I purposely made them on Wednesdays so nobody could mix them up with Thursday concerts.
Okay.
So that is that. Let me just make sure oh, and I have one other piece of information to share with you. Oh, two, I lied. So the first is that the Memorial Garden, if you guys can continue to come up with names and get them to me. I haven't received any from you. I've got a list thus far, but if you think of somebody and want to call or email me for the Memorial Garden, that would be fantastic. And the last piece of information is this year, which we are not participating in, but this year they are having the Memorial Day Parade. I don't know if you've heard that yet or not, but they are going to go through it. I did reach out to the person that's in charge of the Memorial Day Parade, because they asked us if we would like to participate next year. I've already spoken with Bethany, who is, she's from the Dance Center of Old Lyme. She's the one that teaches our tap class. And we're going to have all of our dancers, the dancers from her class, from my class, and from the ballroom dancing class. We're going to come up with a routine, and we're going to on next year's parade. So, and we are also, Bethany will choreograph it for everybody. And we're also going to involve some of her kids from her dance studio. And what I thought we'd do is get t-shirts or something that say Lyme Senior Center. And I thought that would be a fantastic way to just get out just how much fun we have here, you know, to the community.
And it's a
Good
good
idea.
year. It's a good year from now, which means we'll know how
Yeah.
safe everybody's going to be. So
Yeah, I love that idea, Stephanie.
Yeah.
really good stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna plan that for next year. So we're looking ahead, you know. But I am gonna tell you, I do not foresee the inside of our building open until sometime in the fall at the earliest.
Right.
So just so you guys aren't like under any misconceptions that, oh, we're opening in May and then we'll start going inside. I just don't see that it's a feasibility right now with what's going on in the world.
Right.
You know, so but did you guys have any questions for me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I am done.
All right, let's move on. All right, building update, Mr. Weed.
Building update. The quarterly water testing has been done, waiting for the results. The fire extinguishers have been checked. And the monthly exterminating service was done. And I believe that's it.
Good, all right. Anything to add, Steph? Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thanks, Gare.
You're welcome.
Okie dokie. All right, under old business, we have none. So we can move on to new business. I'm going to give you the building committee update. Several pieces of information. As of last Wednesday night, this past Wednesday at our meeting, we set a date for a 3-hour back-to-back hourly interviews of 3 firms that we were chosen by the committee to be interviewed for the feasibility study. I'm not going to name them now because what we're going to do is we decided to be polite and courteous for the other firms that didn't make the cut to wait until after the interviews on the 5th to send them a letter of thank you, but you've been rejected, okay, with the proviso that if you want to apply for something in the future, feel free. Okay, you need to know that the working group from the building committee spent hours and hours looking at 8 different RFP proposals that averaged between 30 to 50 pages each to decide which of the 3 firms to invite to the interviews. So that's going to take place on May 5th, but it will be an executive session for negotiating and consideration of employment, which means it will not be open to the public, those interviews. We are going to hold the interviews at the center. Stephanie and I are going to work out how to do that. They need to be in-person interviews. And the presentations will be given by those three firms, and then the committee will decide which of the three we might hire. The other reason we're not notifying the other firms is that for some reason we don't hire any of those three. We still have the other 5 firms to go back to take a second look. So that's what's happening with that process. Jane, you asked like a while back about survey results. We still hadn't had the complete survey of the center membership that went out until last week, and John Kiker did the analysis of that at the meeting. And we had 215 members respond to that survey, which was a really nice sample. The business community survey and the broader survey of the community, we decided as a committee that we're going to wait and let the consultant do that again, or find out how they're going to do the outreach to other stakeholders in the community. The business and community organization survey didn't yield a lot of results, and we didn't see that as a good sample. So it was decided that whoever we hire, we're going to make sure that they do the outreach that needs to be done. And let's see. Oh, but the survey results for the center members and the exterior tour pictures, the interior tour video, lots of other pieces of information are in the Dropbox that we established for these firms to look at as they were contemplating their proposals. And Jane, I'm going to send out the link to that Dropbox. It's on my email, my dedicated email. I'm going to send that out to this board so you can take a look at the survey results. And I think you're going to be surprised at some of the results. I can give you a little synopsis that what floated to the top of the survey for priorities for programs were pretty much related to health and information, and also exercise and other kinds of classes. Health priorities floated way to the top, and we pretty much decided that that's probably because that's what everybody's concerned about right now during this pandemic. So it's not an anomaly, but it is what it is right now. So we will talk with whoever we hire to see if there needs to be other kinds of approaches to get other information, specifically about programs and priorities of the entire community as well as our membership. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'll send that link out to the Dropbox, and all you got to do is hit that link. It should take you right to the Dropbox. Okay. Okay, that's for everybody on the board. Does anyone have any questions? Don, did I leave anything out? Yo, Donald. Did we lose Don?
Looking, I don't know. Yeah, we did.
Okay, never mind. That's pretty much it. It's been a very busy time for the committee, and we have to follow very strict freedom of information rules like any other board of commission, including this one. But when we do have our public meetings, they're the second Wednesday of the month. We've canceled our May 12th meeting so that we can do these May 5th interviews. But in June, the second Wednesday of the month, 7 o'clock, we send out the agendas just like we send out this agenda to both towns. And when I send out the agenda, it has the Zoom information. You're welcome to come and join those meetings. Okay. If you have anything that you'd like to say or contribute, especially when we hire the consultant, we're going to be doing a lot more of this and developing groups of stakeholders to talk to. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other new business? Okay, Stephanie doesn't need any money right now. We're good. We don't have any members of the public, so we can adjourn. Can I have a motion for adjournment, please?
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
Second.
Okay, everybody seconded it, so Paula, pick somebody, it's okay. Gary made the motion. Our next meeting will be May 17th. It's good to see your faces, hear your voices as usual. Sue, it's really good to see your face. Haven't seen it for a while. And hopefully everybody feels comfortable with everything that they need to do for their own health at this point, okay?
Don is just joining us again.
Oh, Don.
He just came back on. He must have got. Hi, Don.
Hello.
Don, we pretty much already signed off, but do you have anything to add to what we did at the meeting? The building committee meeting?
Internet when I crashed on me.
Okay. I think we're good, all right?